Welcome back, everybody. Matt the Matt here. Hope you're doing well. So then last week we found out that Brad Pitt was looking at being cast in the Batman Part 2, and that ended up not happening. I theorized it was going to be Harvey Dent, but I was wrong. That doesn't happen often, but it did. Before we get started today, hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, subscribe to the channel. Like I said, we're going to be talking about Batman from now till October of 2027 when the Batman Part 2 comes out. So if you're a Batman fan or just in general, if you like movies, talking about movies, discussing movies, movie reviews, hit the subscribe button. You're not going to want to miss it. But anyway, getting back to what I was saying, they were actually looking at Brad Pitt to play Christopher Dent, the father, as I like to say. But they also mentioned that they are going to have a Harvey Dent. And I mentioned that too, that the last movie had the district attorney die and got killed by the Riddler. So this is the Gotham City, and they're going to need another DA to help Batman and Gordon clean up the city. So I said to myself, well, this would be the perfect opportunity to do maybe a fan casting or who I wish to play, I believe, in Harvey Dent. This is not in any particular order. Also, I want to mention Robert Pattinson is 39 years old, so keep that in mind. Also, Scarlett Johansson, if she does end up playing Yoda Gold, aka Yoda Dent, Harvey Dent's wife, Scarlett Johansson is 41 years old. And this is in no particular order. Like I said, last podcast I mentioned Josh Hartnett. He is still one of my front runners right now. I think he's having a resurgence in his career. He has the look. We've seen him play dramatic and a little nuts recently, and I think he would do great. Yeah, but he is 47. He is the oldest on this list I have. But hey, if they want to go a little bit older, it just depends also the age range of Christopher Dent, Harvey's father. They say around 60, in his 60s, so we'll see. But Josh Hartnett is one of my main ones. Then the other ones, almost all of the other ones are in their late 30s. Miles Teller, I think Miles Teller is one of the best actors working today. He has a huge body of work that he's done. Also, this would also make a resurgence, or a revenge, not a revenge, a comeback in the superhero genre, because he was in that Fantastic Four movie in 2015, that was horrible. So he would be one of those actors like Michael B. Jordan, who was also in Fantastic Four, but then went on to be in Black Panther. And then have that little bit of that resurgence. And I think Miles Teller would make a great Harvey Dent. He has the acting prowess. He's 38 years old, so only a year younger than Robert Pattinson. He also already has a scar on his face in real life. And he can do comedy, he can do drama. We've seen him play serious at times. He can do emotional, like in Top Gun Maverick. I just saw him in the movie Eternity, and he was really good in that. So I think Miles Teller would actually be a really good fit for her. Another one is Will Poulter. He's the youngest on the list, he's 32. But he's another one, like, the last couple of movies I've seen him in. Death of the Unicorn. He's one of the best parts of that film. Yeah, he was in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. But who knows if they're going to end up using him, further in Marvel. Plus, I thought they really underused him in that movie. And I think he would also be another. He was in that movie Detroit back in like 2017, where he played a really, really dark character, a racist cop, and he was terrifying. So to see him play Harvey Dent and then become Two-Face. Another one I have on here is Jake Gyllenhaal, who's 44. He's in that middle range between Pattinson and Scarlett Johansson. But if he plays Harvey Dent and he's married to Scarlett Johansson in the movie, women like to date older guys, so he'd be 3 years older than Scarlett Johansson. I know a lot of people want him to play Batman, and who knows, maybe he will be Batman. He's tried out many times. Even Matt Reeves was looking at him at one point for Batman. I think he would make a great Harvey Dent. You look at movies like Love and Other Drugs, or, I think you want to go more with the craziness of a Nightcrawler, or the more serious In Prisoners, but also a little fucked up at the same time. He has the look, the chiseled face, good looking. He has so much range as an actor. He fits that age range that they're looking for. Someone in their early 40s. Then when he becomes Two-Face, could you just imagine what he could do as Two-Face? When you go back and watch Nightcrawler and stuff like that. And so I think Jake Gyllenhaal, even though I think he would make a great Batman, I think he would also make a great Harvey Dent. Harvey Dent. The next one is Shia LaBeouf. He's 39 years old. I think Shia is one of the best actors working today. Also, he's been great ever since, 15 years ago or whatever. He can also bring a lot of range. He can be serious, like in Fury. He can be a little over the top, like in maybe the Transformers movies. Or he can be just a real serious actor in the Wall Street movie he was in. Or the one, The Peanut Butter Falcon. Or the one he directed on his own, what was that one? Honey Don't, or Honey something. And I think he would be a great Harvey Dent too. We know he can be a little crazy. That would be great for Two-Face. But also matching that with Robert Pattinson, I think Shia LaBeouf would be perfect. And then the last one on my list for another controversial pick is Armie Hammer. I know, but guess what, people? Number one, look at the guy. He has that face of a district attorney. He's tall. He's very good looking. With recent allegations, I don't know, you'll never figure out those were 100% true or whatever. He also has a dark side, which would be great for him to tap into that as Harvey Dent. I think he would be a great mirror to Robert Pattinson. And a lot of people, he was great in The Social Network, as kind of like the antagonist to Mark Zuckerberg. But also, a lot of people forget, back in the early to mid-2000s, when I think it was George Miller or Wolfgang Peterson was working on that Justice League movie, right after Batman Begins came out, but I think it was George Miller or Wolfgang Peterson, he cast Armie Hammer before anyone knew the name Armie Hammer as Batman, Bruce Wayne, in that Justice League movie. It was also going to have Adam Brody as the Flash and a number of other people to make up the Justice League. But they cast Armie Hammer as Batman back in the mid-2000s. So, I mean, this is another actor, almost like Jake Gyllenhaal, where he was almost up for Batman. He was Batman, but the film got canceled before it started shooting. Right before it started shooting. But he's another one, like Jake Gyllenhaal was also trying out for Batman. But then instead of being Batman, had him be the antagonist, Harvey Dent. So those are my picks for Harvey Dent. Do any of these names stick out for you? Either my number one would be Josh Hartnett. Then it would probably be Miles Teller. And then I would say either a Jake Gyllenhaal or a Armie Hammer or a Shia LaBeouf. But let me know in the comments below, who do you want to play Harvey. Like I said, a lot of these actors are in their late 30s. Josh Hartnett's the oldest at 47. Jake Gyllenhaal is 44. Will Poulter is 32. He's the youngest. But let me know in the comments below, who do you want to play Harvey Dent?